It is only when we truly know and understand we have limited time on earth, and we have no way of knowing when our time is up, that we will begin to live each day to the fullest, as if it were the only one we have. "20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the ones you did do. So throw off the bow lines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. The purpose of life, after all, is to live it, to taste experience to the utmost, to reach out eagerly and without fear for a newer and richer experience. To those who stay put, the world is but an imaginary place. But to the movers, the makers, and the shakers, the world is all around, an endless invitation. So the only question left to ask yourself is, where should you go now?"
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be around the world. Ali Midawi here with you on a brand new installment of Yup Daily. And oh my goodness, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. And we are ready to close the year strong on 2021, another blessed year. I know it has come with its own challenges, but challenges are usually a gateway to happiness if you really capitalize on them, right? Like without problems, you can't be happy because you solve the problems and then you become happy. If there were no problems, you probably would be bored. But anyhow, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And today I want to talk to you how to start 2022 with a real win. See, right now, specifically this week, everyone is having the idea of new year, new me, the New Year's resolutions, and as cute as they sound, many people just have them because it's a formality. That's what I'm supposed to do, right? That's what I'm supposed to say to just justify that I'm ready to rock and roll, right? Like the gyms are gonna be packed all the way until January 17th, and then it's gonna get empty after that again. Everyone who said I'm gonna go and start a new year, new calendar, you got everything fresh, but within the second week people start to kind of fizzle out, and I'm not here to try to motivate you or tell you the good thing that is going to drive you for 2 weeks, but I want to kind of give you a little bit of a game plan, if you will, right? Like I'm going to share with you what I do to make sure that I have a real win. And I do this every quarter. So to start 2022 with a real win, I'm going to advise you on trying to do the same exact thing. Okay, so I have 3 things that I want to talk to you about today. And the very first one is decision. The second one is game plan. And the third one is accountability. Now, before we dive deep into these, my name is Ali Midawi, and I'm the Global Master Trainer of the Young Entrepreneur Project. And all that means is I help a lot of people on 6 continents either start, grow, or scale a business in multiple verticals that we have, whether it's financial literacy, educational and trading, branding, marketing, business development, whatever you can think of, you're going to find where you can build your book of business or you can build an organization as well and create leverage and residual income for yourself as well. Now, let's talk about the 3 pieces that I think will be helpful to you. So the very first thing, and this is in my humble opinion, the most important one, is making a decision. So making a decision simply means is to plant your flag and to be non-negotiable about it, right? Like if you make a decision to quit smoking, well, it becomes easier to quit smoking, right? If you make a decision to lose weight, it becomes easier because you're telling your body, your mindset, your everything of your essence to follow a specific order. So you have to identify what that decision is first. Now, I'll give a major shout out to Elizabeth Cousins. If you're here, make sure you wave. Elizabeth Cousins sent me a full itemized document, 2-page document, literally from the beginning of 2022 all the way until December 31st, telling me exactly what she wants to establish for herself, for personal life, for relationships, for financial goals, for her business goals. I mean, it was incredible. And I read through the whole thing. I saved a copy of myself, and I made a decision that I will help her achieve all of those goals in 2022, right? A decision has been made. When you decide on something, by default, your existence follows through with it. So, what decision are you going to make for 2022? Like, what is it that you desire to achieve in 2022? See, many people don't even identify what they want to achieve. You know, one thing that I learned from our CEO and co-founder Jimmy Ezel is make sure you do an inventory of your desires and write it down, your goals and desires, and write it down on your phone notes, and then save it. And I literally have it saved as my wallpaper, like, you know, my screensaver right in my actual phone itself. Now, doing so allows me to have what you would consider a reminder each and every single day for everything that I desire, everything that I want to achieve for myself, for my wife. So whenever I open my phone, that's the first thing that I actually look at, right? So what decisions are you making for 2022? What is that decision? Is it to achieve a specific milestone, or to achieve a specific rank, to achieve a certain income, to help a certain person, to retire a certain person? Like, what is it that you want? See, if you don't verbalize it and you don't say it out loud, I'm telling you, you have not given the command to the device that's in your head. Remember, we talked last week about the remote control, right? You take the remote control and you put a specific number. You've given a command to a device to provide certain data and act on it. Well, you have to give that mindset of yours a command. This is why you have to make a decision. So what decision are you making? I'm curious to hear at any level. And if you have not taken the time, I'm not asking you to do this for a New Year's resolution and a new year, new me. I'm telling you to do a real inventory and write down your goals so you can lead to the second step. So the first step is to make a decision. Decision, the Latin root of the word decision is decidio, and decidio means to remove all options. To remove all options. If I said I'm going to build a conglomerate and I'm going to build $100 million business this year, okay, I'm removing all options. There is no distraction. There is no plan B for me. There is no just in case. There is no safety net. Now I'm going for $100 million build. Anyone that is legendary, I'm not talking about some successful entrepreneurs. Everyone that is legendary in the business or in the impact space has made a decision first and went all in on that one decision with everything that they represent. And then they started creating multiple streams of income after that, right? I'm not saying anything against it, but you have to make a decision right here and right now. Create an inventory list. See, when you do that, you're going to start identifying what's called priorities, right? Like when I see a list of 10 things that I want to achieve, I'm going to start looking and doing an inventory of what is the most important to me in this list right now? Like, what is the priority? And your priorities are going to differ from one person to another. Some people look at priorities as I got to make money first. Others look at priorities, I got to get out of my full-time job to create the money, right? Others look at it as I just want to have more, time with my spouse. Others look at, like, priorities are different. So whatever the priorities that you live by, right? Whatever makes you happy as an individual, whatever makes you happy as a human being, right? Those are core values. Make sure that you use them to create the priority list for yourself. Now, once you have that priority list identified, you're going to need to create a game plan. Now, that is where the work really comes in. See, I love the idea of game planning my life, and I do it every quarter, right? Every quarter, I know exactly what I want to do, when I want to do it, who I want to do it with, what is the amount of money that I need to make sure that certain things are done, what is the amount of money that I'm accepting to living on at a minimal, so I do not touch, the bank, so I can plan for the bigger growth and expansion and bigger things in the future, and so on and so forth. See, when you create a plan for yourself, a plan that you are going to execute, and please make sure that you humble your expectations, right? It's okay to not go from making, $3,000 a month to $1 million a month in the first year. Like 99.9% of the people don't happen to them like that. It's almost an anomaly when it happens like that. Most people aren't prepared even for that kind of growth. So make sure that you have increments, right? A unit of measurement that helps you identify what you would consider as growth. So in my case, for example, right, one of the things that I've always been non-negotiable about, people call me lucky. People say, oh, you're in the right place at the right time. People say, oh, your business is an autopilot now. But what they fail to understand is from day one, I've had the same exact behavior, the same exact attitude, the same exact amount of prospecting that I do. My routine is identical every single day. When it was 0 or 7 figures, it was always the same exact routine, and I stayed consistent over that very same period of time with the very same priorities and the game plan that I've had. So one of the things that I do is I do not go to sleep before talking to 30 people a day. It doesn't have to be prospecting them or exposing them right away, but just creating 30 meaningful connections. It is a non-negotiable thing for me, whether it's happy birthday, happy new year, Merry Christmas. Hey, I haven't talked to you in a while, beautiful family picture, whatever it may be. I will go and communicate directly in Messenger with 30 people every single day. See, doing so allows me to grow relationships over a period of time. I was watching, who was it? Grant Cardone was asked about, like all the great amount of wealth that he's created. He doesn't own much, right? He rents where he lives. He sells more jets than he buys, and so on and so forth, right? And what he said was fascinating to me. He's like, if you're accumulating cash flow like in a bank, you are going to forever be broken. You owe money to Uncle Sam and other individuals. However, my goal is not to accumulate $1 billion. My goal is to create 1 billion best friends. Because if I have 1 billion best friends and they just spend $1 a month or a day on me, well, guess what? I'm living the life that people would dream of. On the other hand, he invests everything out on everybody. Now, that was a side note, right? But my point being is you yourself right here and right now, you have to have a game plan that is going to allow you to create those bigger, imaginary, dreamy desires that you want. And you got to do it in increments with a unit of measurement that you can handle, such as talking to 30 people a day, such as making sure that I personally enroll 2 people every single month at the very minimum, bare minimum, such as I'm never going to miss any events that I qualify for, right? Like our online events, trainings, Yup Daily, whatever it may be, such as I will make sure that I'm always invested in my team as much as they invested in me. Some of us leaders, we bailed on our teams a long time ago. And I say we because I've made those mistakes as well. How is your team feeling about your leadership right now? Are you there 100% of the time for your team, or have you bailed on them already? When was the last time you had a team meeting where you just encouraged and gave some love? When was the last time you reached out to your team members and did a one-on-one training? When was the last time that you just taken the time to reach out and say, hey, I'm just checking in on you. How are you doing? When things are fun and business is growing, it's really easy to be a leader, right? You just show up and say, I'm so proud of you. But when things are challenging or things are not as fruitful, that's when you really show your true leadership. So your game plan has to be so specific, so concise, so focused that it not only helps you grow, but it's helping the longevity and the growth of everybody after you. And on top of that, it allows the people who follow you to see exactly what do I need to do in a role of leadership. I'll never forget it. And I think I mentioned this plenty of times. I believe it was in July or August where our business just really started to take a major 10X. And Jimmy Zell, our CEO, reaches out to me and he goes like, listen, this is the time that you go all out. I mean, pedal to the metal. Do not get comfortable. Do not relax, because this is a golden opportunity, a teachable moment for you to teach everyone else after you how you handle leadership. Most people, they lay back and relax when their business automatically starts kind of generating cash flow, right? When they hit that major growth. It is your time to double down and go even harder. Because sometimes when you actually put your foot off of the gas, unfortunately what happens, so does your business. It dies. And that shows people just the wrong thing. And obviously that's going to just drive people backwards. So please make sure you have a game plan. Now, a game plan without the third part, which is accountability, is irrelevant. See, you have to have accountability. Accountability allows you to actually follow through. Accountability will allow you to actually get some of the things done because there's no perfection. See, I have people that I'm accountable to. It starts with my wife. It starts with our CEO. It starts with our president. It starts with our colleagues. It starts with the circle of champion members. Right? I am accountable to these individuals that I work with every single day. I say I'm going to do something, and I better get it done. And when I don't, because sometimes I catch an L as well, right? I get a loss. Sometimes when I catch an L as well, I know that, okay, I can't make that mistake happen twice. I got to step up right now. I got to do the right thing for not only myself, but everybody that is counting on me. See, if you don't have accountability, I promise you're going to give yourself a day off when you don't deserve it. You're going to give yourself it's okay, don't worry about it, when you should be saying to yourself, you're fired. You don't deserve to be in this thing. Accountability is not by you. This is why you're not working out. This is why you're not eating healthy. This is why you're not doing the required activity. And accountability, is important, but you also got to be careful who's giving you that accountability. I know people right now that unfortunately fell astray, like they went down the waysides, and that's because they're following the wrong people. Make sure that the person you're following is exactly who you want to be in the future. See, I follow an individual like Jimmy Ezel, and I see how he is with his wife, and I see how his family is expanding, how all his kids are involved in his life, not just business, right? That's what I want to be when I get a little bit older, and I get to the next phase of my life. I inspire to see myself as if I could be half of the man that gentleman is, right? Like that's why. I don't care what you tell me, right? I'm non-negotiable because you're looking at the opportunity and the money. I'm looking at the guy. I want to have that lifestyle. I want to do life with my family as well. So accountability has to come from the person that you want to have a lifestyle that they already have. Because if you follow someone's opinion, you're going to actually follow their lifestyle as well. So I am very aware and cautious of whose opinion I actually value and I want to follow. Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher, he was talking to his mother, and this is before he became who he is, when he told her, I'm going to be a motivational speaker. And she said, what is wrong with you? You're going to leave your job and do what now? Like, they don't give you this, they don't give you that. And he said, Ma, I love you, and I love everything that you stand for and you represent for me. You've provided for me when I didn't have any, but with all the respect, you can't teach me how to be a millionaire because you've never been one. So he said, so I'm going to love you as my mother, but I'm going to go and do what I need to do as a businessman. And that's not something you can teach me. Now, some of us right now hearing this like, ooh, that sounded tough. How could you talk to somebody like that? Well, here's the reality. If you want something that you've never had, you got to do something that you've never done. And E.T. understood that. And I can go on any greats out there, even Tony Robbins himself, if you know his story. Even Elon Musk, if you know his story. Jeff Bezos, if you know all of their stories. There were individuals with the bad environments and bad influences on their lives, and they had to change that for something that was good. And they chose who they wanted to follow. They chose where they wanted to put themselves in life. They chose their surroundings. In 2022, for me, if an individual is not bringing me up, I cannot hang with you. And it isn't because Ali is bigger than anybody or better than it. No, absolutely not. Go back to Uncle Snoop here for a second. Snoop Dogg. He said, as you grow, there becomes a gap between you and the individuals that you were hanging out with. And the moment you start going down so you can make everybody happy, you're going backwards and you're going down in your journey. And that is detrimental. That is suicidal. So if the individuals that were around you want to maintain that relationship, they have to grow. I'll give you a different example. The day that I decided to quit smoking, I had 4 individuals that were around me. It was my birthday too. They were making fun of me. I'll give him a drink and see what happens. Oh, he's not going to quit smoking. He's just big talk. They try to do everything to get me to smoke. They try to do everything to get me to not accept the idea that I'm going to take care of my health, my body, and live longer for my wife and my future family at the time. And I understood that I needed it to grow. You know what's funny? They never came around after that because they started seeing the change, the possibilities in me. they started getting called out. This guy is leaving healthy, clean. I'm not ready to commit for that. So they isolated themselves. Now, should I have gone to areas where there are smokers and get secondhand smoking just to make them happy? Absolutely not. It is the same exact thing in this business. It is the same exact thing for my life. It is now the time to make a decision, right? What is step one? To decide, to make a decision. What do you want 22 to look like? And then you come up with a game plan, a clear, concise, reverse engineered from where I want to be to where I am right now and start acting on it. And last but not least, you're going to need that accountability. And if you don't have the accountability, I'm telling you, you are planning on mega failure. Don't tell me, oh, it's hard if you don't have someone that's holding you accountable every single day, if you don't have a game plan. I get people that text me left and right. Hey, can you help me? Sure, I can help you. What's the game plan? What do you mean? What's your game plan? You said you needed help. What am I helping you with? I was wondering if you can just send a prospect my way. Well, you're not asking for help. You're doing the same thing a street beggar that's doing, and you're healthy and you have God-given talent. I'm not going to do that for you because I will enable you to be just as bad as the person who is lazy and not trying. So you need to step up as much as I know I have to step up. I have to grow. I've made a decision in June of 2021 what 2022 was going to be like. I already knew it. And I'm going to I already put a game plan. Now I just have to act on it with accountability. I ask of you to do the same exact thing. As a matter of fact, I'm putting my money where my mouth is, as they say, right? So for this whole week, by the way, for those of you who want to learn how to take advantage of Yup Driven or take advantage of the opportunities that we have twice a day, starting tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern and then at 9 p.m. Eastern, we're going, myself and our Circle of Champion members, we're going to be doing overviews twice a day. And we're going to be educating every single day for 30 minutes or so in the morning, 30 minutes or so at nighttime, so you can educate yourself how you can make 2022 your best year ever. Now, if you're part of our community and you have someone that needs this information, feel free to plug them in, drivenzoom.com. We're going to give you more information about that in our leadership later on this evening. But it is time for you to do what you are supposed to be doing, and that is to lead the way. Stop waiting for an upline, a sideline, a downline. Stop waiting for, a report to be ready. Stop waiting. I've been at this thing every single day in a consistent manner, quietly with my head down, just doing what I need to do every single day, working, not worrying about the extractions, the external forces. No, I know what I need to do. I know what I'm inconsistent of. I know what I can impact. I'm just going to do that. I'm going to build relationships and I'm going to add, tag, and message. I'm going to build relationships and I'm going to add, tag, and message. That's what I've been doing for 2+ years. And I'm going to continue to do so. Now, if what you're doing is making you happy, man, God bless. Have at it. If you need a little change, my name is Ali Madawi, and I just gave you a little bit of a recipe of all the things that I do. So again, this is going to be starting tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern. I believe that's 4 p.m. London time. And then again at 9 p.m. at nighttime, which is going to be in the middle of the night for you guys. But yeah. But anyways, I appreciate and I thank each and every one of you. I look forward to all the email communication that's going to come out with everything that I just shared with you. And for those of you who are in our community, make sure you show up tonight. Leadership. Monday Night Leadership is the most important session of the week. This is where you build you. I look forward for each and every one of you. Until next time, have a blessed day, everybody.